because I just started. It didn't matter if I started on the right path. Beginning, the point was that I started and eventually I got where I needed to go. And to kick off the week, get things started right, get you all kinds of pumped up and ready to roll into the week, giving it your best, ready to find the joy, create the joy, be the joy, and do all of the things. And before we get into what I want to talk about this morning, I want to remind you that if you haven't picked up your Sweat CBD yet, you can sure do that. I've been using it for the past 3-4 weeks or so, something like that. And I have found it really, really helpful. I take a dropper of the CBD oil before I go to bed. It's been really helpful for just restful sleep like that. And then also I've been using it after workouts because I have a bunch of joint pain with like my knees and hips and shit like that because I'm getting old. And I've found the gummies to be particularly helpful for that. So if you're interested in picking up some of those products, you can absolutely do that. There'll be a link in the show notes or you can go to sweatcbd.com. And if you use the code MEGS10, MEGS10, you can get yourself 10% off and get yourself hooked up with stuff that can make your life more energized, less painful, and all kinds of other benefits, whatever you're looking to solve there. So make sure you check it out. You won't be sorry. So today I wanted to tell you about a walk I went on this weekend. It was a nice walk. I've been walking around my neighborhood a lot. I think I did a podcast about that or whatever. I'm kind of trying to get these walks in right away in the morning. And so I decided on Saturday to go to take a different path. Ooh, I know. It's like so crazy and really just trying to get a bunch of variety into my day or whatever. So I have noticed as I've been driving around because I'm just starting to like notice things in my neighborhood more because I'm around it. I'm actually walking around and looking because, that's what else is there to do. And so I went this other way that I thought there was a path that went, I don't know, somewhere into the depths of this neighborhood that's my neighborhood, but across the street. And I've never really been in there. So long story short, I went a different way. I turned down this street that I thought was a path, but it's actually just a street. And then I got to like this park and it's called Rolling Hills Park. And it's awesome. There's like a half court basketball court there that still has a rim because some of the basketball courts have been taken down. There's no net, no rim, whatever, because people are being dicks and not just like following the rules, whether they're stupid or not. It doesn't matter. They're not following the rules. And so they've taken the rims down off of a bunch of playgrounds or whatever. But they have that. And then it kind of like has this winding path that goes down to this really nice, I don't know if it's brand new, but pretty new playground equipment and a big open field. And I'm like, holy shit, this is like 5 minutes from my house or my condo, my apartment, whatever you want to call it. And I've lived here for 4 years. And I never even knew this was here. This is awesome. I could think of all kinds of like drills and just kind of like workouts and stuff I could do in that big field. And it's going to be warmer next week. So I'm going to have to come over here. There weren't a ton of people out and around. And it was still not like it was a colder day, but not like terrible. So there could have been a lot more people out. And it was Saturday. And I kind of like sat on one of those like swinging bench things a little bit, which I think actually might technically be illegal. So here I am bitching about people playing on the basketball courts and I'm on the swing bench. So I guess we'll see if that's down next time because I was a dick and was sitting on it. But then like there's these paths that go all these different ways and it's very like naturey and woodsy and whatever. And I follow this path, go over a little bridge. There's like a little creek and it's just like really cute or whatever. I don't know. And the path comes out onto this street that's literally like 5 minutes from my front door or whatever. And it wraps all around. And so then I went on Google Maps and kind of investigated and whatever. And I was like, wow, that was like a really nice surprise that I kind of just happened to land on. And all I was really trying to do is was noticing that I was kind of not, I'm not going to call it a funk, but I was not in a great mood and I needed to do something to shift my energy, something physical because just like workouts have sucked because I live in like a two-bedroom apartment that's kind of like creaky. It's not super handy to work out in. And I don't know. It's just there are a lot of things that are unideal. You're all experiencing it too, so I don't need to explain it to you. But I have not been getting the kind of movement in that I like to get, and movement is extremely important to my mood and my mental health. So I was like, all right, Megs, we're gonna get up, we're gonna get our coffee, we're getting our ass out the door. And just kind of getting started, and we'll see where it takes us. And as I was coming back to my apartment, I was like, damn, that kind of reminds me a little bit of this journey that I've been on with like personal development and how it kind of started thinking that one thing was going to happen or that I had one place that I was going to end up or I had this one goal, right? And then as I just kind of like got started on that and really like started paying attention to the things I was learning with nutrition as my medium, it started to take me to the place that I actually needed to go, which was dealing with my mental health and um, like all of the shit that went down with coming out and my like internalized homophobia and all of these things that were coming up that were really limiting what I was able to do. But where I started was with nutrition. That was the problem that I identified that I needed to change. And in doing so, once I learned a bunch of the skills that were necessary to be successful in my nutrition or get myself to a place where I had balance and control, like sane control, not like I'm trying to control every little thing, but I just felt in control. So I wasn't as anxious about stuff or trying to over control because I knew that I could pick, my boundaries or who I was around or what I was or wasn't eating or those types of things. Once I learned that in the through that medium of nutrition, I was really able to spread that out into other areas of my life as well. I could set boundaries around food and exercise. And then I was eventually able to set boundaries around finances and relationships, romantic relationships. Being able to identify, like, do I want to be with this person or do I not? Do I deserve and need better, better qualities in a partner than this or not? And to make decisions like that, how I would handle conversations or disagreements with my family and engaging on the things that we don't agree on or the things that are problems or whatever, namely my huge amount of gayness. So um what I think happened was, because I just started, it didn't matter if I started on the right path. It didn't matter if I was targeting what the real problem was at the beginning. The point was that I started and eventually I got where I needed to go, where I sort of got to the bottom of um, what I really needed to deal with. And I think, how what does this have to do with me taking a walk to the park? In my brain, what I was thinking was, I knew I needed to change something to shift my energy, get my mood back, whatever. So I started taking a walk toward what I thought was just a trail that would probably go through the house, like by a bunch of houses, whatever. It's standard suburbia, Plymouth, Minnesota, probably be pretty snoozy and boring. And in doing that, in just starting, not knowing like what street it connects to or anything, it's just like, well, I'm gonna kind of wander around and just see what is, because then maybe then I'll know where that stuff goes and if I want to go there again. and I found this really awesome space that for whatever reason in the moment just felt very serene. I mean, I don't stop and sit on benches and just, like, chill and observe and hang out. I don't really it's not really a thing that I do. Maybe or I mean, maybe it will be now, but because it was nice. But, um it just felt like exactly what I needed in the moment. It was something that I didn't even know was there, even though it was essentially right in front of me for literally 4 years. And how many times is personal development like that? Or, solving a problem or having a conversation or being anxious about something or I don't know, allowing things to take up space in our mind and in our energy and to impact our relationships or whatever, and the answer is so obvious. What we need to do is perhaps once we get to it, it seems obvious. In the moment, of course, it's not, because there are so many things that go into whatever clutters our vision for what we really need or what the underlying issues are. Um, but I think the takeaway is that you don't have to get it right. You just have to start. You just have to get it going. And if you start taking little actions toward this isn't anything new. I mean, this is super head firsty, right? Um, this is about taking that first step. You don't have to worry about, am I solving the right problem? Is this something deeper? Do is it I have so many problems, it's my relationships and my finances and my career and my health, whatever. How do I know where to start? You probably don't know where to start. So start where either there might be something that's like the lowest barrier to entry. What's the easiest thing to start working on or to start having a conversation about or to start making a little change in? Find what that easy, accessible thing is. I mean, I took a flat ass path to this park and then it started to get really hilly once I got into it, which I found is why it's called Rolling Hills Park. And the journey to constantly striving to improve ourselves, which is what living headfirst is, it's not a journey that ends, and it's not like, oh, you found it and then you're all good to go. I mean, this is a journey that goes forever, so it really doesn't matter where you start because it's something that'll keep going in circles and it'll ebb and flow as your life goes and as priorities change or energy needs to go to different spaces in different seasons, like when our priorities are very different, or the way that we address, assess, and kind of shift our priorities are very different now than they were, 4 months ago in January, because there are different. I mean, this is a forced season, but life is like that. There's ebb and flow, and different things are going to rise to the surface that need to be addressed. But the skills that you learn along the way further and further equip you to be ready for whatever is coming next. So, what the hell is my point? What the hell is my point? That's a good question. My point is that if you're feeling like something needs to change, you're feeling like you could use a shift, you're not feeling as happy as you would like to, which I think is a space that many of us are probably in. Um, you don't have to wait until you have the perfect answer or the perfect program. You don't have to wait until the lockdown is lifted or whatever, depending where it is that you live. You don't have to wait to get started. You don't have to know a certain thing. You don't have to have a certain level of experience. You can just start, and that can be by asking a question, sending an email, going for a walk, asking for help. It could be watching a certain show, reading a book, initiating a conversation that someone else usually initiates. There are all different kinds of things that you can do to just kind of get the ball rolling toward whatever you think might make the most impact for you right now. It might not be the thing that ultimately makes the most impact for you, and that's okay. because it doesn't really matter. It is never wrong or out of line or a waste of time to improve any aspect of your life. So it's okay to start with low hanging fruit. It's okay to start with the free thing, the small thing, the least uncomfortable thing. It's okay to start there. But if you are having um an itch or kind of a feeling that something needs to change or you want to change or something is popping up for you that's like, I feel like I could be doing better. You don't have to so much worry about the shoulds. I mean, really, that's a different podcast, but staying away from what you should be doing. What you should be doing is different than something like you that you feel like you want to do. If you want to feel better, if you want to clear the air, if you want to, do a better order less shit on Amazon, like whatever your thing is, we've all got different stuff. So I think the big takeaway here is to just start, just begin and do and trust that as you're going along a journey, you're never wasting time. You're always moving yourself in the direction of who you are becoming at any given time. And just like my son says back here, the best is yet to come. And that shit is true. So this week, just begin, just start something. Just do the first thing, take the first step, do the first rep, eat the first, I don't know, vegetable, make the first call, send the first text, do the thing that is going to move you toward the person that you are becoming and the person that you want to be. Okay, that is all I have for you this morning. I hope you have the best week of your life. Make sure you hang out with us for Beer and Banter Live coming up tonight. We're talking about the science of fear with social cognitive psychologist and co-founder of Peak Mind Psychology, April Seifert, and it's going to be super awesome. She has so much great information actually about how to get yourself started on uh, living up to your full potential and noticing when you have thoughts and beliefs that are getting in the way of you getting started in the first place. So, if any of what I said this morning resonates with you on that, make sure you check that out. We're going to be chatting at 5 o'clock tonight on the Living Head First Facebook page, and you're not going to want to miss it. So I'm going to assume that I will catch you there. But until then, make sure that you're having fun, being yourself, and living head first.